Today, our lesson, Unit 3, Lesson 3, Effects of the Hydrosphere. We will discuss the following points: define floods and floodplain. Describe the causes and the effects of floods. Define hurricane and storm surges. Define glacier and the types of glacier. Explain erosion and deposition by glacier. Explain the role of water engineer. Floods. Floods means an overflow of a large amount of water beyond its normal limits, especially over what it's normally dry land. Flood. You can see the flood. Floods, a great flow of water over an area that is usually dry land. A flood is an overflow of an expanse of water. Flooding may result from the volume of water within a body of water, such as a river and streams. Water runs over the ground in streams and rivers. Water enters a river faster than the river can carry it away. Rivers may overflow its banks as a flood. The flood water may cover part or the entire valley floor where the river runs, eroding and depositing sediments. Floods can cause damage by carrying mud into homes and streets. Causes of floods. Some of the major causes are heavy rainfall. Heavy siltation of the river bed reduces the water carrying capacity of the river's streams. Blockage in the drains lead to flooding of the area. Landslides blocking the flow of the stream. Construction of dams and reservoirs. In areas prone to cyclone, strong winds accompanied by heavy downpour along with this storm surge leads to flooding. Flooding impacts. Floods. How do floods affect people living in cities? The water flowing speedily can be dangerous. It is so powerful, it can carry a car, house, tree, or person away. 2 feet of flood water can push large vehicles away, such as buses. Floods take place even in the desert. The common type of flood is a river flood. If the capacity of the river is more than its flow rate. Then flooding can take place in the surrounding area of the river. A flood takes place when the water overflowing causes a dry land. Floods happen due to heavy rains, a river overflowing, broken dam, a tsunami, infrastructure failures, winter storms, or melting snow. Tropical cyclones, hurricanes, tsunamis, and waves resulting in near flooding. After the flood has ended, the risk still remains. The surface of the road will have weakened. The water will be contaminated and there may be unattended gas leaks and fallen cables. Floodplain. The word plain comes from the Latin word planus, which means flat. Flood comes from the German word fluven, meaning to wash. Floodplain definition. A floodplain is a flat area that gets washed over with water. How rivers flood? Rivers have a maximum capacity to carry water. If this capacity is exceeded, the river will eventually rise higher than its banks and flow out into areas adjacent to the river. Here you can see the wetlands. The natural wetlands can soak up water and reduce the chances of a flood. What are wetlands? A wetland is an area of land that is either permanently or seasonally saturated with water. These areas are considered the most biologically diverse of all the ecosystem and contain unique plants and animals. Draining wetlands or cutting down plants along a river bank by make floods more likely. What makes a wetland? Wetlands are defined as areas that are covered in water for at least one season. They are often full of plants called hydrophytes, the ferns, sedges, and rushes that we typically associate with wet, swampy, boggy areas. These plants love soils that are saturated with water. Flood waters carry and deposit sediments over the land. The river carry too much sediment and overflow into the flat area or the plain area near the bank of the river. Floodplain. A floodplain is a place that floods easily when river water rises. Floodplain, this part of the valley floor, it's called the floodplain. Valley, the place between the mountains. At the bottom of the mountain, we can see the flat area. It's called the floodplain. Here, we can see the floodplain and the river with meanders. The loop of the river is called meanders. And the river water easily enter the street and near the homes. Floods can also have a positive effect on natural system. Wide and deep channel river. Beside the river, the flat area, it's called floodplain. After a flood, new soil deposits on the land. The nutrients in the soil help plants grow. Floodplain with rich nutrients in the soil. Methods to control floods are very destructive natural hazards in United States. Different methods are used to control flooding along major rivers. Flood walls are built out of steel or concrete to hold back rivers during floods. Artificial levees or barriers that are built along rivers and are made of rock, soil, and sand. Levees. A levee is a wall of earth or concrete built along the banks of a waterway. Flood protection. Dams hold back flood waters. Reservoirs store flood water. Straightened channel increases speed of flow. Land use zoning. Restrict development to uses unaffected by flooding. Makes channel deeper so can hold more water. Afforestation increases interception, etc., reduces runoff. Levees and embankments prevents river from overflowing. Hurricane. A hurricane is a very large, swirling storm that forms on the surface of tropical oceans. Hurricane and storm surges. Hurricanes, strong winds in coastal areas. Sea water can be carried by massive winds and hurricanes onto dry coastal lands and cause flooding. Sometimes this is made worse if the winds carry rains themselves. Sometimes water from the sea resulting from a tsunami can flow inland to cause damage. Causes of storms: strong wind, veils of clouds, and pounding rains. When a hurricane moves toward a host, winds and waves can force large amounts of water on shore. This is called a storm surge. Storm surge is water from the ocean that is pushed toward the shore by the force of winds swirling around the hurricane. This advancing surge combines with the normal tides and can increase the water level by 30 feet or more. Storm surge combined with waves can cause extensive damage. A storm surge, storm flood, tidal surge, or storm tide is a coastal flood or tsunami like phenomenon of rising water, commonly associated with low pressure weather systems. Its severity is affected by the shallowness and orientation of the water body relative to storm path as well as the timing of tides. How can a hurricane change the land? Heavy rains and strong winds can cause flooding to an area during a hurricane. Erosion and deposition by glaciers. In very cold places, thick sheet of ice called glaciers creep over the land. Glaciers form where snow collects quickly and melts slowly. The weight on top of the mound puts pressure on the snow below. The snow in lower layers of the glacier slowly turn to ice. Near the ground, the pressure from the snow above cause some of the ice to melt. Glaciers turn V-shaped river valleys into U-shaped glacial valleys. That's why glacier it's called river of ice. Glacier can flow like a river. Movement of glacial ice. Ice flows downhill via gravity. Glacier is a large body of ice moving slowly down a valley slope or spreading outward over land. There are two types of glacier: valley glacier, continental glacier. Valley glacier found between mountains. Continental glacier found at the surface of the land. A glacier is a part of hydrological cycle, means water cycle. Thick ice masses formed on land made by snow accumulation, compaction, recrystallization. Glacier is able to flow, so it is called river of ice. How glacier forms? A glacier forms when snow accumulates over time, turns to ice, and begins to flow outward and downwards under the pressure of its own weight. In polar and high altitude alpine regions, glaciers generally accumulate more snow in the winter than they lose in the summer from melting and evaporation. Mountain glacier, it's called alpine, and the continental glacier, it's called ice sheet, because large land masses covered with sheets of ice. Alpine or valley glaciers are small glaciers, and the continental glaciers or the ice sheet, it's very large glacier because it can cover entire continents. And the alpine or the valley glacier, the movement is mainly due to gravity, downhill movement. And the continental glacier, the ice or the glacier move due to their own weight. And alpine or the valley glacier, some still exist in the western mountains. And the continental glacier, the northern ice cap, is one of these. Valley glacier located in high mountains and are smaller glacier running down between mountains. Continental glacier cover a whole continent: Arctic, Antarctic, and Greenland. The valley glacier, it's U-shaped. Here you can see the U-shaped valleys. And valley glaciers are streams of flowing ice that are contained within a steep-sided valley. between two mountains. An ice cap is an area of ice that covers less than 50,000 kilometers of land. Then Piedmont Glacier flows out the bottom of glacier onto a relatively flat plain. The bottom spread out in a fan over the flat land. Continental glacier, ice sheets that cover large areas of earth. A glacier that cover much of a continent. So it is called continental glacier. Glacier have helped for weathering. Weathering by glaciers. A glacier is a large river of ice that moves very slowly downhill. Glaciers are formed over many years as large amounts of snow fall and accumulate. The snow compacts and changes to ice. Stuck in the bottom of the glacier are stones of various sizes that wear away the rock under the glacier as it moves downhill. Water in cracks in the rock freezes. As it freezes, it expands, causing the rocks to break. This is called withering. So, withering by glacier. Erosion and deposition by glaciers. As the weight of the ice increases, the glacier begins to flow. It flow from one place to another. It's called erosion. The bottom and sides of the glacier freeze onto rocks. A glacier moves, it tears rock from the ground. It scratches, flattens, breaks, or carries away things in its path. A glacier can make a valley wider and steeper. It can carve grooves into Earth's solid rock surface. Glacial effect. Glaciers are important forces of landscape change, erosion, transport, deposition. Glacial erosion form U-shaped valleys. Glacial erosion creates a distinctive trough, unlike V-shaped fluvial valleys. Glacial erosion causes in three ways: plucking, abrasion, frost wedging. In the photo above, you can see scratches on the rock left by the action of a glacier. Striations or scratches made in the rock under a glacier by the stones stuck in it as the glacier moved downhill. A glaciers melt, they leave behind the rock that were carried in the ice. The leftover rocks are called glacial debris. Glacial debris can be made of large boulders or small particles. It can have bits of gravel, sand, and clay. The glacier drops most of its debris at the downhill end or terminus. Long ridge-like mounds of rock called moraines can also be left behind by glaciers. Moraines are found at the terminus or along the edges of glacier. Here you can see the different types of moraines. The glacial deposition is called moraine. The deposited feature of a glacier is moraine. Many types of moraines. Here you can see mainly three types of moraines. Material found along the edge of a glacier valley is called lateral moraine. If two glaciers meet, their lateral moraines join together, forming medial moraine. This leaves a line up the center of the valley. A terminal moraine is a ridge of material deposited at the front of the glacier, marking the furthest point the glacier reaches down the valley. So, the glacier found at the side or the edge is called lateral moraine. If the glacier deposited at the center, it's called medial moraine. Glacier debris deposited or dropped at the end of the downhill, it's called terminal moraine. This diagram shows how a glacier deposits rock and sediment. The sediment we can call glacial debris. Depositional landforms only form lateral moraine, medial moraine, terminal moraine. And one more, it's called ground moraines or till-covered areas with irregular topography and no ridges, often forming gently rolling hills or plains. Ground moraines are dominant moraines. Changes caused by ice. Rainwater can go into cracks and openings in rocks. During the winter, the water will freeze and expand. This makes the cracks and openings in the rocks bigger. After this happens several times, a rock will break into pieces. Glaciers can change the shape of landforms when they move and scrape the landscape. When glaciers melt, they leave large amount of sediment behind moraines. It is called glacial debris. Here also you can see lateral and medial moraines. Glacial debris, an accumulation of boulders, stones, or other debris carried and deposited by a glacier. A glacier melt, they leave behind the rock that were carried in the ice. The leftover rocks are called glacial debris. Glacial debris can be made of large boulders or small particles. It can have bits of gravel, sand, and clay. Glacial till contains sediments of every size, from tiny particles smaller than a grain of sand to large boulders all jammed together. Glacial erosion can form U-shaped glacial trough flooded by the sea. Glacial deposition, when glaciers melt, they drop or deposit the rocks they were carrying. A moraine is the rock and soil left behind by a melting glacier. Glaciers pick up rocks and dirt that travel along with the glacier until it eventually melts and it's left behind as till. A day in the life of water engineers. Water engineers are civil engineers who focus on bringing water resources from lakes or groundwater to water treatment facilities and then to homes and to buildings. They might design the pipelines and pump stations that the water will follow. Water engineers use scientific studies to know if water is contaminated and to know how much water is needed by an area. Water and wastewater plant engineers plan, design, and oversee construction and operation of all processes and structures involved in the treatment, distribution, and collection of water and wastewater. These engineers work on a variety of scales, designing small package plants as well as large municipal and industrial treatment facilities, pumping stations, reservoirs, distribution systems, and sewers. Water and wastewater plant engineers can also be employed by municipal and industrial systems and plants to oversee day-to-day operation and maintenance. Water engineer controlling the quality of water and also sewage treatment plant. Water engineers involve the design, operation, and optimization of water and wastewater treatment facilities, reservoirs, dams, pipes, and networks, open channels, and storm water drainage. Water engineers get to be in the field when their pipeline designs are constructed. Water engineers use scientific studies to know if water is contaminated or polluted and to know much water is needed by an area. Wastewater treatment plant. Jobs of water engineers deals with supplying clean water, disposing wastewater and sewage, preventing damage from flood. Water engineers design the pipelines and pump stations that the water will follow. Here you can see the pump station and the pipelines. And water resources engineers is concerned with the collection and management of water. Water engineers are passionate about conservation efforts and educating others about how to care for water resources. This is called water resources management. Water engineers working with the civil engineers to make dams or reservoirs, to store water, to conserve water. What skills would a water engineer need to have in order to be successful? A water engineers would need to care about the environment. Be careful when working with machinery and be creative when designing water structures. Thank you.